So
certainly.
thank you for sharing that. It was very visceral. I'm sure everybody wanted to do the same thing. Like they want to shoot up like a geyser too.
Shoot up. It's like, what? And it's just so funny because as soon as I finish, it's like, all right, now I gotta physically clean something. I gotta bring order in. It's it's contagious. Cleanliness and frequency, it's contagious.
Welcome to Call for the Truth. I am LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tavares of the Sun, and we welcome you to today's conversation. But before we begin, Tavares, will you bring us into the Call for the Truth?
Well, certainly, and we encourage you all to join us in this call for the truth. Shall we call forth the frequency of truth? Shall we call to see the truth in all that we see? Shall we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we call to speak the truth, calling forth the courage to speak the truth? Shall we call forth nothing less than the truth to come forward into our experience? And we are here in the truth, and we encourage you all, if you want to continue the pursuit of truth with us, click that like, subscribe, the bell notification, let the AI algorithm know that other people need to hear this. So here we are with some lovely array of bouquet and apples. I know people normally don't see that, so I'm sure they're
Yes.
wondering, what are y'all doing?
Well, it is the season for apples to be harvested, and we are beginning our 3-day apple fast, which we recommend once a year to clean the liver from research so that you can stop this recirculation of toxic things in the liver, bad habits, um, addictions, and some of the things you've been eating and doing all summer. So, this is how we start. These were handpicked by Tavares at an orchard, and they are amazing and delicious and crispy and crunchy, and we're loving them. And we will be eating them for 3 days. So, you're going to talk about some of the new things we're doing at Of the Sun. Class is coming up. Don't you have a class coming up soon?
Ah,
I have
okay.
one too.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm over here like, what we got going on? All right. Well, there are actually several things. Of course, we have this Apple Cleanse going on. We are beginning it today. This is awesome. It's always a wonderful start. I've been super excited because
Yes.
our guidance has shared with us the importance of cleanliness. We know that cleanliness is next to godliness, aka divinity. Speaking of which, we are in the midst of an energy hygiene class right now.
Yes.
It's going wonderful, laying the foundation for how to adopt an energy hygiene lifestyle so we can stay clean and clear, which is just like engaging with the Apple Cleanse, doing things that are preventative to remove the toxins from your body, but in this case, from your field. And so that's going really great. And as a continuation of energy hygiene, we're moving into our advanced classes where we have quantum light property clearing, which this is one of the pinnacles within the body of the sun, where if you're ever wondering, where does working with of the sun lead to? It leads to you learning how to clean and clear the morphic fields of spaces and places, removing the toxic debris of the memory and the taint from the past, restoring order so that there could be a new broadcast to help create harmony and forward motion and growth within the environment for the occupants. And that's not just houses. You can expand beyond that into your community, cities, towns, etc., where we realize that we're more than just our bodies, we are the space, we are connected to everything. And so the pursuit of cleanliness is a pursuit where you begin to expand your reach of what requires cleaning within your reality. And so this is where we're going in the gym, we're gaining more muscle, gaining more reach,
Hmm.
and really more power to influence reality.
Yes.
So I can go on and on about this, but I'm gonna stop there. And you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, the idea of purity. Sometimes we look at the landscapes on Earth and we think how pristine and how beautiful they are with no man-made, um, with nothing man-made. There's no mowing of grass, the rolling hills, the mountains are beautiful, the trees are exquisite. The forests are lovely. And the order and the purity of the order is um, brought forward by nature itself.
Yeah.
And so the idea of us cleaning and clearing everything is in its place as it was designed to be by the divine intelligence that put it there. And it is in our best interest to emulate that
Well, certainly.
until we become that. Because we do it until you become it.
Yes, yes.
So yes, I'm so in favor of cleaning the body. It is not possible for us to reach the layers and heights of ascension that we would like to have as humanity unless the vehicle that we ride around in is pristine, clean, and pure. So moving towards purity is an excellent idea
Well,
for ourselves, our families, our children, our cities, and our world.
I agree. And speaking on the idea of purity, the act of cleaning and clearing itself is a purifier. And that's one of the things that I love about this process. In tandem with light body movement, I have shared numerous times where I've seen where the idea of activation of my light column, my light body, in tandem with a modality like quantum light property clearing, where there's a geyser of light and power moving through me, I'm that much more cleared and clean. And there's the amplification. There's a clear, distinct difference of the light that I'm able to carry. And there's also something about utilizing your light, not just walking around with it like, all right, I'm light, but what you doing with that light?
For those of you who are have heard this mystical idea of light, but you don't necessarily see it in your lives, we have something called light body movement, which you can be part of. You can join the light body movement and learn to remove the fragmentation that's in the chakra system to allow the light to come through, which is our birthright. And then you can direct light into whatever manifestation you would like to see. So what Tavares is talking about is he has done this, and we're part of the light body movement, which we will continue to bring forth for everyone who's interested to join into a weekly, actually bi-weekly on the light body, but a weekly community where you can participate with others who are looking to light up their world and their bodies and also remove all distortions in their chakra systems. So
Certainly.
thank you for sharing that. It was very visceral. I'm sure everybody wanted to do the same thing. Like they want to shoot up like a geyser too.
Shoot up. It's like, what? And it's just so funny because as soon as I finish, it's like, all right, now I gotta physically clean something. I gotta bring order in. It's it's contagious. Cleanliness and frequency is contagious,
That
and it
once
carries out
the
throughout what you
brain
do.
becomes aware of cleanliness, it wants to maintain it in all of its everything it surveys. So once your body becomes more clean, then your bedroom needs to be more clean, then your desk needs to be more clean, then your house, then your neighborhood, then your world.
Yes.
That's what we're
There's
looking for.
levels to this thing, man. So also we have coming up one of your classes,
Yes.
the annual Out of the Sun, the Luminary Soul Translation
Yes.
class. And people are highly excited for this because this is an introductory to being a practitioner. I often refer to it as soul clearing light,
Yeah.
where you are teaching people how to literally translate the blueprint of a soul through there are over 25 modalities that are contained within soul translation, which just one alone can be a class. But
Yes.
for this upcoming winter season, I understand you're doing four different
Yeah.
modalities, which
Mhm.
yes, which my understanding is it's mental causations,
Yes. Do you want to
arc.
explain that?
Yeah, yes, I'd be happy to. I was going to give the rundown, but I'll run down with description. So mental causations, think about the language of thought and how that's communicated to the body. For example, normalize things in our lexicon as "you make me sick" or "you're pain in my back," or maybe it's not that specifically. Maybe you have these thoughts of feeling like you're overwhelmed, almost like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you start feeling. achy shoulders and congestion. So there's this idea that through the thoughts that we think, they manifest in the body with as different elements. And so with soul translation, we can translate what's happening
Yeah,
physically in the body. And this is not just aches, I'm talking disease and other illnesses that are a byproduct or a materialization of the thoughts that we're thinking.
absolutely. And I love the simple ones like, I don't want to see that. I wear glasses.
Be like, hold on.
Or um, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
Like, what'd you say? Uh, speak up.
Yes,
The way
these
my
are
ears are going.
these are mental causations, very simple ones, but there are
Yeah.
also more complicated ones. These classes are introductory level, and we will be bringing forth four different categories, all of which elevate, clear your thoughts on yourself, and then give you the power to clear yourself and teach you understandings that help you clear others, your family, your children, all of the ones that are in your experience. So that is the first one.
Yes. All right. Second one. Which one do I want to do? Let's go with archetypes. The soul has archetypal themes that are associated that manifest through the personality, and there are a myriad of different archetypes. Sometimes people are the queen. Sometimes someone's the archetype of the teacher. Sometimes someone's the archetype of the brat. And that we have seen this. But I also understand that along with this, as the soul grows and evolves, these archetypes can change. Would you also say that's accurate? And so this is a very interesting understanding because the archetypes, I'll say for me, within my experience, it has helped me understand like what I have been pulled to in terms of my expression. It's like,
Right.
ah, that makes sense. This is the archetype of my field. And so, like, I think one of my archetypes was, I mean, it's obvious, but you are the artist. That's your archetype, or the creator, and very much so in everything I do. It's expressed that way. And so these things, it helps the soul understand more of really who we are. And I know I didn't say this earlier, but the class, you learn to do this not only for yourself but for others.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
which is a cool thing. Everybody want to know about themselves. What's my archetype? Who am I?
And not only that, but in each class, especially in the class of archetypes and the next two, everyone will have those things identified for them. So they will know what their current expression is. And then they'll know how to, as it changes, if it changes, to identify that as well.
Well, certainly.
So everyone who comes through this, there's 4 weeks. We do one class a week for 3 hours, and you will get that information about yourself, which is valuable and which increases you because you don't necessarily know all your archetypes.
No. And another thing that most people don't know but are eager to have clarity on are their gifts.
Yes,
What
which
are
is
my gifts?
one of the classes as well. And we will go through for each individual, we will identify
Mm.
many of their gifts, and teach them the process of learning how to do this for their children and their parents and all of the people in their experience.
Well, certainly. And again, it's something that gives clarity, but the gifts, you can act on them. I understand that some of them are present within people's reality, and some of them are dormant.
Or
We're
latent,
latent,
yes.
yeah, we're, need a little dusting off and peel back the layers to expose them. But I will say, for myself, it did wonders because just to name a handful of the gifts, one of my gifts was writing, and it made so much sense. But it's something about the clarity when you get the clarity of that's you,
Yes,
and
it
then you
is.
start leaning into it, whew, things
It,
really open up.
it's really an increase in understanding and love of self to have the identification, but to also have someone else identify you. It's like, oh, I know you're a teacher. I can see you're a healer. I know you're a mother. And that helps the person with their levels of clarity and congruency.
Yeah. And
And sometimes they already know these things, but it's still a value add.
I also want to share that the gifts are beyond what's typically out there. Like usually when people hear gifts, their mind goes to clairvoyance, clairaudience, the yeah, etc., claircognizance. But it's not that those aren't there because those are definitely there. But there are well over 50 different gifts that are identified.
Well, one of mine is one that people wouldn't expect to be a gift. I am a human.
Well, I would say in this time of artificiality and plastic microplastics, being human is most certainly a gift.
Yes, and so on all that that embodies.
Yeah.
So to prove your point, that is, there are many, many, many gifts, and some of them what you would expect, and some of them not what you would expect, which gives you an opportunity to be more grateful for who you are and where you are in this lifetime, in this time that we live in.
Yeah.
Do you remember the final one?
Yeah.
Okay,
The Archangel Realms.
that's right. And you actually taught that class once a couple of years ago,
Yes, I did.
and so you know a lot about that.
Yes, I do. And so, Archangel Realms, what's unique about this is that there are, well, at least within the listing that we're utilizing, 7 to 8 primary Archangel Realms. And within these realms, they are also associated with a particular energy center. And then there are certain core attributes that are associated. There are gifts associated with each realm too. So you're getting gift squared. You're getting just gifts that's unique to your soul, but also the gifts that come through with your association with a particular archangel realm. And then also you get to see the challenges, which I think are really great as well, because what I found interesting is that the gifts help overcome the challenges.
Yes.
It's so beautifully done and intelligent.
It's very interesting too, because in the group setting, when you are in a group setting, and this comes about when you learn these things and then you see others, that level of um, integrating the knowledge is so much deeper than if you had a private reading where you focus only on yourself in your own experience. When you get to see, 20 other people having these experiences, and you know some of them or you don't know them, but you can see, or you can see the qualities. This gives you deeper understanding. The group setting is significant and valuable.
Yes, yes.
So that's also part of the soul translation experience. Soul trans the you travel into where else you can go. You don't have to stay wherever you are. You
Yeah.
can be transported into
Bingo.
moving into other levels and understandings of self.
I'm gonna ask the camera and video editor to add to the visuals the soul translation imagery because the insignia really speaks to that
Yeah.
movement, that dimensional
Yes.
movement. You can feel yourself going into it, and yeah. So, and we work with this technology to access different levels of healing as well as bringing forth the information. But as an aside, I understand the only prerequisite for this class is sun calibration,
Right.
being able to calibrate, because that's one thing that's very important. The system is set up in such a way where you have these graphs and charts for people, but you have to be able to identify what's what.
Just
And sun
simple yes
calibration
and
helps you
no.
do
Once
this.
you can establish a simple yes and no without anything foreign in and of yourself, you're ready for the class.
Yeah, which is cool. It's like, I got the answers. I know how to get answers.
Yeah, we live in the answers here at
That's
Upper
right.
Sun.
Yes. I feel like I've been wanting to make a shirt like that for years. Like, I live in the answers.
Right.
You know,
That's true.
indeed. So the class is coming up in November,
Yes.
and it'll be running 4 weeks consecutively, held on Tuesdays.
Right.
It's a 3-hour class from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. It is already on the website. You can find it on the homepage. There's a lot more of the detailed information about each one of the modalities. And I think another beautiful thing about it is you get to hang out with LaOta in a classroom setting, one of her advanced classes that, based off of record, you've been doing these advanced classes once a year. and I think that's intentional too.
Well, also because soul translation, we teach over, as you said, over 25 different modalities under the heading of soul translation. And so this class, if the students want, could be continued through all of the modalities. I could run it again in 2 months afterwards and 2 months afterwards. I have never done that before, but it can be done. We will see what the call for it is. Yeah.
Ball's in your court. So especially those students who will be partaking, or maybe you don't end up making it in the first round, and you're like, "When's the round two?" Let us know. Reach out. Visit ofthesun.com, but you can also reach us at contact@ofthesun.com via email for questions and details regarding the class and how you can be involved.
Every financial crisis has one winner. It's not crypto, it's not stocks, it's not real estate, it's gold. In every financial crisis, there's one asset that always comes out on top. Not because it skyrockets overnight, but because it never dies. Stocks crash, currencies collapse, property markets freeze, but gold, it keeps buying the same value as it did 100 years ago. Look at history. 1929, 1971, 2008. The people holding gold weren't panicking, they were shopping. They had liquidity when everyone else was broke. The winner in a crisis isn't the one with the most cash. It's the one holding what cash runs to when it's scared. When the next crisis hits, you'll either watch your savings melt or you'll be the one buying gold at a discount.
So that's pretty much the up and coming things that we have right now, and it's closing out the year. Was there any other things that you wanted to talk about today? Because this is kind of like updates and highlights of the happenings right now.
Well, right now we're in the middle of Halloween season. And so I'd like to bring forward some insights concerning Halloween and how it works in our environment. People have varying levels of understanding about what takes place. And Halloween, as many of our holidays, is a ritual in which many of us take part. And even those of us who don't take part because it's happening in the morphic field of humanity in ritual that has been going on at least, how old is this country? 200 years?
Yeah, over 250 years.
So it's been going on. And so it's very present and accepted, even if a person doesn't wear a costume or call forth a grotesque idea or try to commune with dead people who are not in our dimension, all of which are part of that ritual. Uh, these energies of ritual are very accepted. No one's saying, I'm not going to the stores who sell it. No one's saying, I don't want my children visiting a house that has those grotesque, death induced images in front of them. So we all are participating at some level. And this is important for us to realize that it is a ritual, it is in play, it has power of the ritual itself. And then when we willingly take part in it, that's also noteworthy because the calling upon the dead, the wanting to be terrified, the distortion of what a human looks like, the mask, the all of the accoutrement and paraphernalia that goes along with this idea influences our field. Every store, every big box store, every decorative store, every store is full of it. You can't find the things you want to find because the shelves are full. But our world does run by whether people buy things. If we stop buying them or stop going to the stores, as we have seen in recent years, that when people when the stores and owners of stores choose certain views, people sometimes, because they have the right to do to have the thought they want to have in a free choice universe, then you then have the right to respond. And sometimes stores are closing down because of your response. So we encourage you to recognize the insights concerning the idea of bringing forth things to incite fear, the grotesque images that distort the beauty of humanity, the idea of calling back to our dimension those who have left our dimension who are dead, and bringing them forth in a more grotesque manner. That all of this brings forward the energies that don't relate directly to it, but that look like shame, anger, fear, all the lower frequencies that happen when everything is ugly, when nothing is alive, when everything is scary. Then now we're in the lower fields of frequency where anger, fear, fighting, war, murder take place. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. The solution is that not only can you join the light body, but you can begin to clear the fragmentation of the accumulated debris, emotional debris in your chakras by going into meditation and bringing yourself into truth, joy, and gratitude. Do this to begin to develop more light. Bring yourself into these energy centers so that when you are fearful, when you start thinking of truth, or you start thinking of joy, or you start thinking of gratitude, when that happens, it disrupts the fragmentation, it disrupts the pull into shame, fear, anger. So we have a solution to this, and light body is actually the solution. But even on your own, you can begin to be in meditation with the idea of truth, with the idea of joy, with the idea of gratitude. Gratitude is the higher frequency that will dispel shame, fear, anger, fighting. It's very difficult to be grateful and punch somebody in the nose. So you are encouraged to know what we share with you, our insights on Halloween. And if you would like to offset what happens in the morphic field of humanity during this time of the year, every year, year after year after year, which everyone participates in, whether they're a consumer or whether they own a store or whether they're part of making the costumes or having the parties or making the scary, grotesque houses because they are in agreement with that. They want to have the parties because they're in agreement with the levels of darkness that bring forth shame, fear, guilt, anger, and war. So when we realize that that's really what's going on, then we have an opportunity to dismantle it. When it is invisible to us, we have no opportunity to dismantle what we do not see, what is invisible to us. So we are at Halloween now, and let's hope it's the last one. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, one of the things that comes to mind is just how we as humans, our power, our thoughts, our emotional energy is used against us in ways unbeknownst to us. And the idea of Halloween and grotesque masks, the idea of fear. I often say, don't we have enough fear already? Why do we need to engage in provoking fear as a form of entertainment? But again, when we understand what's really happening with through frequency, we understand that okay, we're being used to call in more darkness, more of what we really don't want, but just this lack of understanding of self allows and permits for this. So clearly, those who become more aware, you realize, I don't want any engagement with this because you realize what you're feeding and what you're taking in. The word that you kept saying, consumerism, and I was looking at it a little deeper. I know at the surface it's just kind of obvious, but consumerism takes place in so many ways.
Yes.
It's not just purchasing product, but it's through the thoughts and the emotions we're engaging, we're consuming something. And so the mindfulness of we can change what we're consuming, we can change what we're broadcasting, what we're putting back into the field and cycling out, just their own desire. Thinking thoughts of joy, thinking thoughts of happiness, gratitude, that'll break something up real quick.
Right.
Like you say, you're not gonna want to punch someone in the throat if you're grateful. It's like, I'm too grateful. I can't do it right now. That gratitude saved you, right? It definitely influences the behavior.
It's so interesting that so many people overlook the fact that they will take their children somewhere and literally bring them into traumatize them by frightening them. And then that then fragments the personality of the child. And then that then leads to the fragmentation, leads to incoherency. And that incoherency leads to illusion. And the illusion hardens into delusion. Then we wonder, why are so many people deluded in our world? But the whole process of, once one holiday's over, then the next holiday, then the next. However, in this particular holiday, calling upon those who have left this dimension, as is the natural order of things in death, are calling upon grotesque images to frighten, to specifically frighten and terrorize. The idea of being in this ritual of being in agreement with all the stores being full, being in agreement with making sure we decorate our houses so that they will know where to come, that those energies, the resonant energy, will be able to find us.
Yeah.
So this is a bigger, much bigger than the Halloween day. It is the the fractured personalities of generations of children that have become incoherent because they haven't had a chance to assimilate the trauma from their parents purposely putting them into environments where they're traumatized, or their teachers, or their churches, or. So that's what we wanted to make sure we brought to your attention, that the solution would be, in the face of things that are fearful, in the face of things that are traumatic, to bring forth truth, call for the truth. You see something, is that the truth? Is that image the truth? Is that what do dead people walk around in my world looking like that? Is it the truth? If it is if we can identify the truth, that's the first level. If we can bring ourselves into joy, well, not going to feel unhappy because someone else has made something that is grotesque. And then the idea of, let me just be grateful that I can stay at peace and highly elevated, no matter what all the other humans are doing, and no matter how invested they are in it. And you are encouraged to not eat the candy with the sugar in it. There's no upside to that. There's just no upside to it. I can't think of any version of that that makes sense.
I agree.
So we are in Halloween season. We hope that this is a message that you can adhere to, or at the very least gives you insight and another way of thinking about things. We thank you for having been here with us and joining us. But before we go, we'll ask Tavares if he will pull a card, and he's already in the mix, that gives us some additional insight.
Yes. Asking the cards to share with us the truth that needs to be known regarding Halloween and really sustaining our light.
And the card is,
The theme truth, throat chakra, and the maxim reads, "Let he who calls for the truth in the time of lies be prepared for war."
haha.
And so I would say my takeaway from that is turn up. You looking for truth, and I'll say this: what I see as a form of warfare is where instead of bringing out Halloween ornaments and things, decorations in September, they decide to do it the day after July 4th. It's like, oh, it's not working. Let's rev up. Which I shared with the class last night that this is not necessarily an act of power.
Yeah.
It seems like an act of desperation. However, it is a level of infringement on us in terms of this dark influence. So I would just say light up.
I agree. I think the solution is, bring forth the light from within you through truth, joy, and gratitude. Whenever you're confronted with something that is not the truth, that it's a lie, it's grotesque, it's clearly trying to make you less than what you are, recall the truth of who you are. Let that fill you with joy so that you can be grateful. Thank you. We are so glad that you joined us. We leave you today in the greeting words of Invocation Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.